Let me expand on my learning style. Maybe somebody might also benefit from it. The analytical and logical learning style. So in the previous video, I was talking about how last year I was able to finally figure out what my learning style was, and I stopped being confused. I stopped having imposter syndrome. I could now tell that this is how I've been learning, because when the world makes you believe that you have to read and write, that reading and writing is a sign of intelligence, and you know you're smart, you're excelling, you have imposter syndrome because you second guess your intelligence, because you're seeing yourself from the lens of people who are not like you. Thankfully, some other people took out time to figure out other learning styles, and mine is analytical stroke logical. Now let's see what my learning style really is about. Logical, analytical learning styles are characterized by a preference for understanding concepts through reasoning, patterns, cause and effect, relationships, and detailed step-by-step analysis. These learners enjoy investigating problems systematically, organizing information, and finding facts and evidence, often working best independently and in structured environments. They thrive on logic, data, and systematic processes, rather than relying on personal anecdotes or abstract concepts. Key characteristics: reasoning and logic. We prefer to understand why things happen and look for patterns and connections in information. I said I was going to talk about pattern recognition intelligence eventually. As you guys can see so far, my MBTI, my DISC personality, my learning style are all actually aligned. They're saying the same thing about me. Systematic approach. I excel at breaking down complex problems into smaller, sequential, and following logical steps to a solution. Some other characteristics: I focus on facts. Analytical learners are drawn to accurate facts, data, and logical theories, seeking the underlying principles of concepts. I'm very detail-oriented. I pay close attention to details and enjoy examining them to form a comprehensive understanding. People who know me know I ask a lot of questions. That's just because I'm trying to find out, figure out things, trying to get to the root, to get the concept and the root cause. Independent work. I often work best alone, which allows me time to focus deeply on a single problem or concept without distraction. Structured environment. An organized environment with a clear progression path is essential for my success and effective learning. I guess. Curiosity and investigation. I can ask questions, I can investigate. Even when you've said something, I want to figure out why it is what you said it is. I will question it. So I'm naturally curious and I enjoy investigating how things work. I've often asking many questions. So people that know me, don't be offended. Now you know why I ask a lot of questions. It's not that I'm trying to be annoying. I'm trying to understand what you think that you understand that I'm yet to understand, if that makes any sense. So in all this, how do I learn best? Because it's not as structured as reading and writing. So how do I learn best? Just give me a problem. When I'm solving a problem, I'm learning. Present me with new problems to walk through systematically and encourage me to draw conclusions from evidence. Engages me. That's how I learn. Structured information. Providing information in a clear, orderly, and sequential fashion is highly effective, which is why when I was told, book your hotel and send to, it was confusing because it was not detailed, it was not clear, it wasn't orderly, and I spent days frustrated trying to figure out what was wrong. Data and statistics. I prefer working with data, statistics, and visual representations over abstract concepts or large amounts of text. Yeah, just give me data. Let me interpret it myself if possible. Statistics, when you tell me, make sure it makes sense. Let it not be manipulated or something. And then visual representations, like maybe graphs or something. Then cause and effect. Using if, then. logic, claim, chains, and exploring cause and effect relationship helps me build understanding. And interestingly, one of the first courses that I did when I joined my undergrad university studies was philosophy and logic. And in that class, I became known, like immediately, because I kept answering questions, if, then. So my brain works if, then, which is the pattern recognition intelligence I talked about. Then organized environment. I need a structured environment where I can focus on one task at a time without interruptions. And again, that's why I like Scrum. Scrum helps you focus on one task. Besides, psychologically, multitasking is false. People switch tasks. It's called task switching. There's nothing like multitasking. You're switching from one task to another. And if they are major tasks, you lose 25% efficiency every single time. Do that. Look it up. I'm not making it up. Multitasking is a waste of time. Then logical activities. When there are things like chess and maybe a video game that is I forgot what it's called. We have to figure things out. Where I have to do like logical processing, categorizing things and all that stuff. True story, in 2015 at the French Cultural Center in Abuja, Nigeria, a group of friends of mine were playing chess, and I still don't know the tricks of chess now. I sat down, a guy who had been playing all his life, I sat down and I beat him. I played with him again and I beat him. The next person that came, I beat him. Like, I don't know whatever it is you're thinking. I don't know the moves, but I'm just watching the board as things are happening, and I'm figuring out what to do and what not to do in the process. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. I just don't memorize things. I figure things out as they're happening. So I know my learning style, but it took me a long time to get here. It took me a long time, and the best decision of my life was finally embracing that my learning style is analytical and logical, and I am bold to say it. I tell people, oh, I don't like to read. Huh? I don't like to read. Huh? I don't like to read. So the thing about learning is, let me use language learning, for example, music or French. There's a oral comprehension or IELTS. There's a oral comprehension, there's oral production, there's written comprehension and written production. So oral comprehension is when you understand what they're saying. Oral production is speaking. Reading comprehension, written comprehension is reading, and then written production is writing. So it's the same for every language. But guess what? There's also provision for thinking. So that thinking is my learning style. So it's not reading, it's not writing, it's not even speaking, it's not hearing, it's figuring it out in the head. Example, in music, some people can vocalize the sound they hear, some people I can hear sound and play immediately. Some people can write music, some people can read music, but I create music in my head. See, that's another skill. So I'm saying this because even in language learning, I think people should start adding that particular skill to language processing, because some people can figure out things in their head. But the world has been dominated with some people, and they've created assessments, they've created rankings and ratings and profiles based on their limited knowledge. But the good thing about science and learning is that things always improve. So yes, my learning style is analytical and logical, and I know and I've embraced it. Find out what yours is, and your life will never remain the same.